So back in 2007, the legendary filmmaker Werner Herzog, he captured something on camera that has honestly haunted the internet for almost 2 decades now. It's this short, kind of grainy clip of a single penguin making a choice that seems to defy, well, everything. All logic, all instinct. It's a story about a journey into the great unknown, and it all boils down to one simple question. Why? Okay, let's get into it.
These are the actual words Herzog uses to describe the scene. You've got this lone Adelie penguin, and it just breaks away from its colony. It's not heading to the ocean to feed. It's not going back to the safety of the group. Nope. It just turns and begins this solitary march toward a mountain range, a full 70 kilometers away. A journey that means certain death.
And that right there is the question Herzog just leaves hanging in the freezing Antarctic air. But why? It's the same question the scientists on the ground asked, and it's the question that millions of us have been asking ever since. Why would any creature walk toward total uncertainty, toward the impossible?
Now, to even begin to wrap our heads around this penguin, we first have to understand the man who filmed it and the very unique lens he saw the world through, because this was never, ever going to be a cute penguin movie. You see, you've got to remember, this footage came out just 2 years after the monster hit, March of the Penguins. And that movie, with its warm Morgan Freeman narration, painted penguins as these perfect symbols of family values. Monogamous, devoted, self-sacrificing. But Herzog, he wasn't interested in any of that. He went to Antarctica to film the isolated, sometimes strange humans living there. And when he saw the penguins, he asked a very, very un-Disney question. Is there such a thing as insanity among penguins? And that question, it really gets to the core of Herzog's whole philosophy. He doesn't look at nature and see a reflection of our morals or our stories. No, he sees something huge, powerful, and just completely, utterly indifferent to us. This became his anti-March of the Penguins thesis.
What's wild is that this quote isn't even from his penguin documentary. It's from Grizzly Man, another one of his films about a guy who thought he had this special bond with wild bears right before they killed him. Herzog looks at the natural world, and he doesn't see cute characters. He sees this profound, chilling emptiness, and that is the exact perspective he brought to that lone penguin walking towards those mountains. So, Herzog framed the penguin as this symbol of nature's cold, mysterious reality. But the second that clip hit the internet, it morphed into something else entirely. It became a mirror, not for nature, but for us.
Just think about this. This one clip, often called Depressed Penguin, has over 8 million views on a single YouTube upload. And that's just one of them. It went viral and has pretty much stayed viral for almost 20 years. So clearly, something about this penguin's strange little journey resonated deeply with a massive amount of people.
And the comment sections, they are a goldmine. People saw everything in this little bird's determined waddle. They saw depression. They saw nihilism. They saw burnout. It became the perfect symbol for that feeling when you've just had enough of the colony. It was the moment when the intrusive thoughts win. For millions of people, this one penguin, on a journey nobody else could understand, became their spirit animal. But, beyond all the memes, some people started to see something deeper. Not just an animal that was lost or, broken, but one that was making a profound choice. A choice that you could almost read as a kind of philosophy for how to live your life. This way of looking at it breaks the penguin's actions down into a sort of 4-part philosophy. First, leave the path. The penguin stops following the group. It turns, and it basically says, enough. It breaks the script. Second, maintain focus. When the cameraman stands in its way, it doesn't stop. It just walks around him. No arguments, just unwavering focus on the mountains. Third, don't explain. The penguin offers no justification, because to explain would be to admit that other people have a say in your path. And finally, choose the journey. Okay, it's heading towards certain death, but aren't we all? The choice isn't really about the destination. It's about how you choose to walk in the time you have. And this phrase just perfectly captures the core of that idea. The goal wasn't to conquer the mountains. The victory, the whole point, was in the act of walking towards them. The journey itself was the destination. It's a powerful act of defiance against a life that's just lived on a loop.
So, we have Herzog's cold, indifferent nature on one side, and we have the internet's philosophical rebel on the other. But what about the actual scientific reality? What was really going on with this penguin? And the honest answer is, there isn't one. The scientist in the film calls them disoriented, But that doesn't explain why, when the researchers actually caught this penguin and brought it back to the colony, it immediately turned around and started heading right back for the mountains. There's no peer-reviewed research, no definitive scientific answer, just a profound and very enduring mystery.
And maybe that's exactly why this story has lasted so long. The power isn't in finding an answer. The power is in the question itself. Because there's no easy explanation, no known disease, no simple disorientation. We're forced to look at this small act of defiance and find our own meaning in it. The empty space that science leaves behind is filled by our own humanity.
So ultimately, this story isn't really about the penguin at all. It's about us. Did you watch that and see a creature that was broken? Or one that was bravely choosing its own path? Or maybe a little bit of both? Herzog asked, but why? And then he left it for us to answer. The penguin's journey is a blank canvas. And what you see in its long walk toward those mountains, well, it might just tell you everything you need to know about the mountains you're facing yourself.